to our local non-league, and joining us tonight, of course, he's from FC Romania. Of course, he's George Vice is the assistant manager, and of course, George, the captain, as well, joining us as well for the first time. So, welcome, guys, but tonight. But I was just saying off air there, great, great win today.
Go on, George, you go for it.
Thank you. Yeah, good evening.
You deserve it.
Yeah, I think it was a great win for us today. I think the attitude was at the right level. I think we probably lacked of attitude at some games this season, but today I think we were spot on. We played really well. We played good football, the usual football that FC Romania plays with the ball on the floor. We worked really hard to get these 3 points, and I think we're very pleased with the result today.
Okay, it's a tough team, George, as well, wasn't it? I mean, today was, it wasn't an easy game either. I mean, Aylesbury are a decent outfit as well.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy game today. I think they came to play football, which we obviously love, because whenever we play against a team that likes to pass the ball and play football, I think we do really great. So I'm very pleased with what happened today.
I mean, the gap now. I mean, the gap is literally, when you look at this. I was just talking to Andy in the for the Isthmian Prem, but you look at the playoff situation. If we forget Bedford for a minute, and maybe Berkhamsted, the others are quite close. You start, Dunstable 41, Ware 36, Northleigh 35, Harlow 34, Tame that have come from absolutely nowhere 32, then Aylesbury 31, Welling 31. U31, Didcot 31. So you go right down, almost down to 11th now, where it's really, really close. One win or a loss could, pull you out of the playoffs and down. So it's going to be really tight between now and the end of the year. Do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really tough. But luckily, we're very close to the playoffs places. So I think we just need to focus on the next game, which is really important for us, to make sure that everyone is fit and to get a win, 3 points to get closer to the first 5 places.
So I suppose George, assistant manager, I suppose you've got derby, 2 derbies coming up, really, haven't you? You've got Waltham Abbey, Waltham Abbey, and then of course you go to Arlo as well. The following week, in a few days later. So I suppose Andy was talking about earlier on, will these games even go ahead? What do you think?
Well, at this precise moment, I mean, every week's a different week, isn't it? So realistically, is it going to happen? Maybe not. But what we've got to do, and we've got to keep our focus, I think, more than anything, every week. So obviously we train twice a week. So they're really, every game now, we've got 18 games left, 8 at home, 10 away. They're all cup finals, at the end of the day. We can pick up 54 points if it carries on, and it's only, like you're saying about the playoff position, it's 4 points off the one that's second for bottom. Was it North Lee, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And then it's Ware on thing. But the difference that we played more games than most of the teams, so it's a must win every game. So we've got 18 cup finals.
But guys, do you think that COVID's going to interrupt it this weekend? I mean, Andy said he was disappointed. He went into the trophy at the weekend. He'd got 4 or 5 out with it as well, and a few others that weren't feeling very well, etc., etc. Do you think this is now going to sort of come in to start biting, the teams and maybe even have a little bit of a break before we go back to playing again? Do you see this sort of coming? Because it seems to be getting worse and worse almost every week now, doesn't it, Captain?
Yeah, unfortunately, it does feel like we're back to a higher number of cases. I hear more and more people being tested positive, which unfortunately is not great for us. We don't know. I guess, as George said, we have to take each week, each day by day, to see how it goes. Obviously, we will have to adhere to the government's advices. We don't know. We just need to continue training, make sure that everyone is fit, make sure that everyone is healthy, and if there are any cases, obviously we must make sure that everyone is isolating. But yeah, hopefully we're trying as much as possible to avoid, you know, gatherings, and we're trying to stay in our own bubble to make sure we protect ourselves from this virus.
But I mean, if the game does go ahead, I mean, Waltham Abbey should be a good game. I mean, they, you know, at the minute they're, you know, they're actually sort of on a bit of a, I suppose the only way you can put it, I suppose they're on a bit of a bad run of form at the moment, the Abbey, aren't they? And so, I mean, you know, you're sitting yourselves in eighth in the form table. Waltham Abbey are all the way down in 17th, and it's only Colney Heath, Kempston, and Wantage that are below them. So, I mean, how do you see that game of the weekend? Is it still going to be that game where, you know, knowing what Michael Spencer's like, it's still going to be a real tough old battle down there at the Abbey? And you're looking at a, you know, years ago when you used to go down there, as we've mentioned before, it used to be like going down to play on Brighton Beach, you know, and now it's like playing at Wembley. I mean, the pitch over there is probably, in my personal opinion, is probably one of the best grass pitches there is in non-league football. It is incredible over there now. So, you know, is that a case of just trying to get the right mindset going into that? And will you, I suppose, have that, George? I mean, will you drill that into the players when you know, in the dressing room to make sure they've got that, you know, right mindset going into it?
Well, funny enough, we hit a bad spell. We lost 2 games in a row, games that we shouldn't have lost, leading, etc. Apart from the other day when we played, what should we call it? I slipped my mind. 3-0. Who was it?
Biggleswade.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah.
We played Biggleswade where we didn't play good at all, and they just absolutely battered us. We all sat down as a squad. We just had a heart-to-heart, good discussion, and it seemed like it's cleared the air or such. I mean, no, I'm not saying it's bickering or stuff like that. I'm saying that, you know, let's look at, because we're making fundamental mistakes at the wrong time, which is costing us game after winning 1-0. How do we console that? And I think today, which George just explained earlier on, I think it showed a side that we need to be concentrating all the time. But you know, after today, I think, as you said, if the cases, COVID cases rise, then it might be a problem. But at the moment, we're so focused on winning games. So Waltham Abbey, and I won't go on too much, but it's every game's a cup final, like I said from the beginning. So they want to beat us badly because we beat them last time. So Harlow, you know, they beat us in the cup. That's your team. Beat us in the cup. You know, we want to beat them again, and that's at home. So we've got to try and take full advantage for these next 4 games, if 5 games is a bit possible, because come January, we've got 3 away games leading up to the February. So we definitely need, and that's obviously Berkhamsted, Hertford, who is a decent young team, play really good football, really good philosophy there. And then there's the big one, Bedford, with Gary.
I mean, you've had, you know, you went gold crazy, didn't you, at the end of November? 5-4 against Hertford Town, 6-1 against Kempston.
Yeah.
You went, you know, then you've had a real tough trot, really. When you look at some of the teams you've actually got to play, that you've played and got coming up, you know, you had Didcot, Biggleswade, Aylesbury today. You know, you got Waltham Abbey. They're on a tough trot at the moment, but they're still a tough team to try and turn over. Harlow, Welling Garden City, Tame, and Berkhamsted in quick succession. I mean, you've got all the teams that are probably above you, maybe other than Waltham Abbey, in quick succession.
I think, like I said, from when we talked originally, the first few times that I've spoken to you, Dave, I think the better teams, if you'd say better teams, it's more of a challenge, isn't it? Because you know you've got to be up for it. And if you're not up for it, then it's a problem. The problem is we're losing to teams where we should be beating. That's how we see it, you know. And we lose that, and we lose concentration. So these next 10 games that we've got, they're all good teams, you know. There's not a bad team. It's just about applying ourselves accordingly, and hopefully the results will come.
George, I mean, do you see it yourself? I mean, you know, from the players' point of view, I mean, you know, we're and please don't take this the wrong way. And I've said this to George before. You know, previous seasons, FC Romania have always been one of those sides that have been in that sort of the lower regions and stuff. And now all of a sudden you're flying. I mean, what's the dressing room like this year compared to other seasons that, you know, that where you've been struggling a little bit?
Yeah, so I've been saying this since the beginning of the season. I think quality-wise, this team has never seen this quality in the 6 years that I've been here with the team. So I think we have really good characters. We created a family basically. It's not only the FC Romania name now, because I think we are a multinational team at the moment, and we blend and we bond really well. I think we have really, really good quality this season. All we have to do is adjust, as George said, adjust a couple of errors that we do, individual errors that cost us a lot. Unfortunately, we made a lot of errors this season. I don't think any, apart from last game against Biggleswade, I can't remember a game where we've been outplayed by a team. I think we constantly dominated the games, but all that we were missing probably was obviously not making these crucial mistakes that cost us a lot of points and obviously wins.
It sounds a bit like Arlo.
Dave, I think a lot of teams are making mistakes. I understand, even like today, the Liverpool game with the goalkeeper, we're making mistakes. But the thing is, at our level, at any level, if you make silly mistakes, as in schoolboy mistakes, it'll cost you. And, we're in a game where we need to win every week. That's the pressure we're under every week to do well. So we're hard on ourselves. We shouldn't be, because if you look at all of our videos, we play some great football. Again, like what George says, the Romanian way, we pass the ball the best we can. Everyone always says you play some great football, and it's a pleasure to be around, to be fair, and especially coaching them. Iron's not been too well for the last week or so, and I've been doing the sessions with the boys. I've been doing a session. It's been a pleasure, just to see the quality that we have around us. And I think in the long term, obviously we're a new team, 19 games low, 20 games old. I think it will benefit going forward, because the average age now, apart from George, who's 31, is about 21, 22, 23. So we're in good stead,
I wish I was 31, George.
Well, you're 34. Sorry, you're right.
33.
Sorry.
I'm 33.
I was trying to do you a favour, George. That was all.
Basically, what he's trying to say, George, he's calling you an old git, mate. I wouldn't have had it.
I know. He tells me all the time.
No. Believe it or not, he's the fittest in. Believe it or not, he's the fittest in the team. Have you seen the size of his calves?
So what we're saying, is he up there with Mr. Bishop?
Bishop's a bit of a softie when it comes to tackling and running hard. He's more up the other end, and he's a great looking boy, and he's a great. Yeah. But George is more of our what we want in our community team, the way we are. We want players like George, and that's why he's our captain. I'm sorry, I know he's there in front of us, but he's the pinnacle. He's a perfect gentleman on and off the pitch. But when he's on the pitch, when he has to be hard as nails, he's our main man, which is the reason why he is captain of the team.
I'll be honest with you, though, I certainly wouldn't want Mr. Bishop running at me if I was a centre half.
Oh no.
No. I don't want to say too much, because you know what he's like.
I think he's a great player, and he still has a lot of potential. He just needs to show us more every week. But he's a great player and a great character. Also, he's really important for us.
I mean, he's one of those strikers, I think, which you don't get very often. He's. I think, as a non-league fan, when you see Kieran Bishop with the ball at his feet, you're worried. Do you know what I mean? There's some strikers, and I don't mean that in the way that it might sound, but there's some strikers that have a ball and you think, oh, I'm not too worried. Do you know what I mean? But when he gets it and he's anywhere around that box, you're sort of panicking a little bit. Well, this is going in the back of the net type thing. Do you know what I mean? As soon as he gets that ball. So, he's a good guy.
Dave, I'm glad you're talking about him, because we haven't got any more good forwards anyway. So I think Bishop's our best player. So whoever looks at this, he's our best player. Target him, please.
Oh, but listen, guys, I do appreciate you coming on, and we wish FC Romania all the best for the game at the weekend. And let's hope, I suppose, first things first, let's hope it's on. with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, especially in this in
Yeah,
the country as well. And but guys, please keep well. Keep the rest of the squad well. I'll get to see you maybe New Year's Day, if all being well. And
Dave, I just mentioned that on New Year's Day. Obviously, we're paying you on the 1st. It's apparently, I've been told that you're our special guest in, you know, when you go into the old boardroom and all that. So apparently, you're our special. Ian has told me to tell you that, which you'll be our special guest. So when you turn up, you come into the boardroom, and I'm sure everyone will sort you out there. I'll sort you out a scarf as well, if that's all right.
absolutely, I collect scarves, so absolutely, 100%.
Perfect.
I'll definitely take you up on that one. But listen, have a fantastic Christmas and enjoy yourselves. Not too much because you've got a game on the Monday, but enjoy yourselves and who knows? We'll definitely see each other New Year's Day anyway. But thanks for coming on tonight, George. It was a pleasure meeting you for the first time, sir. And I'll get to see you again, I say, in a few days' time. But thank you, and George, we'll speak after Christmas. And we won't bother next week because of Boxing Day and all the rest of it. But we'll speak in a couple of weeks' time. But a massive thank you to you as well, mate. And speak to you then.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and Merry Christmas.
Bye.